We are a team. As storytellers and dreamers,
there is always magic to discover.
Once upon a time,
a Las Vegas showgirl
and a comedian magician
figured out that even with different perspectives,
our adventures and experiences together
are really just
one big caper.
Welcome back to One Big Caper. We hope this is a return visit for you. This show is something that's just kind of a catharsis for us. We discuss things generally prompted by people who are viewers or listeners, and we love to do that. In this case, however, there's one tradition in this household, and we do film this here in our home. There's one tradition in this household that has come back up in conversation because we are constantly trying to identify how it is that the young people who live here in their teenage years, how they have such a close relationship with us and are confident in their individual personalities at school and that kind of thing.
Yep.
And the comparison against their friends.
I mean, it's our comparison based on
But
information we are gathering from them.
the youngest has gone through a bit of introspection in realizing how she doesn't quite understand why these other young people are not close with their parents and don't interact. Even if they have a meal together, they don't interact with one another.
Yeah.
Like strangers.
Yeah, I mean, I see it all the time at the airport. Teenagers are usually just on their phone during the meals. And spring break's coming up. We're filming this before spring break. And I imagine I'm going to see a lot of families doing that. But I have seen a lot of families, not a lot, a handful, playing Uno, playing card games, like interacting. So there is hope. There is hope. There is hope.
Not all hope is lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are
you going to tell them about Are you going to tell them about our tradition or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're getting there. But I think that's one of the things that we can credit with the success of these young people.
Okay. I might agree with that. Yeah.
And in our relationship with them, one of the things we've identified about all four of us is that we're crafty people. We are very artistic, creative, crafty people. And it occurs to me, we're not preaching that ours is the singular right way to do things, but what we saw that works in this home is for us to create together. And it was years ago that we developed what ended up being Coin's Art Jam.
I think we developed it and it was called Art Jam, period.
From the start?
Yep.
Okay. Well, Arts Jam became kind of a scheduled thing for a couple of years there where...
about a year and a half, I think.
We would take turns hosting Art Jam. Each member of the household would have their turn. So every 4 Art Jams, it would cycle back through hosts.
Yes.
And it was up to the host to come up with a craft and to know enough about that craft that they could teach the rest of us.
Yep.
And then for an hour, 2, 3 hours, we would do that together. Sometimes some crafts were a little less successful in earning interest, and those art jams would run a little shorter, which was fine. But it was a blast, and we had a lot of really lively discussion. I think everybody's favorite part of Art Jam was just talking with each other.
Yeah.
And that has turned more into story time during dinner than Art Jam.
Yeah.
But I think, was it the last Art Jam that was kind of our most rewarding? Was for a gift to.
So I think it took 2 Art Jams.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was nearing the end of Art Jam as we knew it. There are a number of reasons, but that one, it wasn't our last though.
I thought it was. Well, nevertheless,
Maybe it was.
we collaborated, all 4 of us.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the end of 21.
Right. We collaborated, all
yes.
4 of us, on a project that was to be a gift for family.
Yep.
Friends of ours.
Yep. An art box.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
An art jam that we gave to them.
Yeah. So that they could do their own art jam.
Right.
And a little bit of a background on this particular family. The eldest daughter of that family actually was a special guest in a handful of our art jams.
Yes,
Yeah.
our only special guest, but
Yep.
we were able to include this other young person, not part of our family, in a few of our art jams, and that was a blast. She was fun to play with.
Yeah.
It was determined eventually by the young people in this household that the time is sacred enough that we shouldn't share it.
Yeah, which was interesting because at the time, and this is kind of a juicy bit, we were talking about making it a paid offering, like
we talked about live streaming it.
Yeah, live streaming our jam, so other families could join in, and come together, or a monthly art box. So
A
we were
subscription
really
box.
thinking of doing that and creating that and giving it to the world, because I mean, if you've been around here long enough, you know how much we love art, making art, appreciating art, and sharing that with the world. It's important. I think it's maybe some of the reasons why some of the kids don't connect with their parents.
I don't think it's completely off the table that we would create such a thing.
Oh, well, yeah. Let us know if you'd be interested in that.
If you want to collaborate in creating Art Jam, it does fit very well in a subscription service or a live stream or a combination of these things. I think we can discuss a few of the different art jams.
Yeah.
We experimented with, oh my gosh, all kinds of different things. We made books from scratch.
None of us had ever made. Well, I learned some basics of bookbinding when I was in 5th grade. But I just found a tutorial on YouTube on bookbinding, and we just figured it out.
There were some cooking ones.
Yeah, which helped with the gift box. So that we didn't tell you was a gingerbread train that was designed, and it was designed by Felix basically, and we had to cut the pieces to his specifications, the gingerbread to his specifications. Granted, like the biggest, craziest part was trying to make it vegan and allergen free, because one of the little ones of that family has severe allergies, and we had to make sure there were no eggs, no I don't know all their allergies anymore. Anyway, that poor little girl. But we did it.
Yeah.
We did it, and I will forevermore be using chickpea juice to froth for frothy eggs.
That's
for
very
meringue.
strange. Yeah.
It is unbelievable how amazing
we
that
can
is.
Disclose this recipe as part of this episode.
Okay, yeah, I'll
it's
send the
the
links.
wrong season entirely, because it is a gingerbread recipe, and this was a Christmas time project.
Yeah.
But the gingerbread train was adorable, and every member of that family was able to pick a car or the engine or caboose of a train and make their own little car, and then string them all together. And they did a lovely job.
They sent us pictures.
We included all the little candies that were in the pictures that I drew, and it was an adorable project and really a great success. And that may be one of the reasons that Art Jam kind of fizzled for now, was because we couldn't. It was an intense project, but we couldn't think of a way to outdo that.
Yeah, we couldn't. That was the thing. Like, so we started it in 2020. It was when we're all stuck at home, like, what are we doing, what are we going to do? Let's do something fun, let's make stuff. So that's kind of how it started. And then we went by that rotation, youngest to oldest, to do cycling through
every 2 weeks.
So it wasn't every week, because the girls go to their dads every other week. And so we got to the end of 2020. Do we want to do it again? Yes, was everybody's answer. And so then it was kind of a challenge to come up with a new craft every other week.
We did all kinds of.
There were a few we repeated.
We did repeat a couple. We did a few different painting experiments, including reverse glass painting, which was
I think that was the most fun, and I surprised myself with my abilities, because I always say I can't draw. I'm the artist that can't draw. Yeah. The painting.
I would say the most successful Art Jam was, in my opinion, and everybody will have their own opinions, but the needle felting.
Yes.
Needle felting was great.
That was the best.
Needle felting was
And that
great.
was, I think, her first one.
Yeah, I think it was very early in Art Jam, but
Yeah.
she came up with that and she figured it out enough to be able to teach the rest of us, and
Well,
we all did it together.
She did art club at school.
Mhm.
In elementary school. The new art teacher there had started an art club after school, and it was like there was a small fee to pay for the materials. And one of the classes they did, she learned how to needle felt, and I think it was only flat stuff that they learned.
Mhm.
And that's where you take the roving, the wool, the fluffy wool that's just carded, it's just brushed and it's fluffy. And then you like stab it a million times with a really, it's a needle about this long, and it's like it's like barbed. So there's like little things pointing off the end. And what it does is it like it knots everything together. And the more you do it, the tighter the piece gets, and then you can make shapes. So it was just like the coolest art jam. I think we were all pleased, except for the oldest. We were all pleased with our projects. She lost interest. She lost interest all the time.
We're
Unless
all
it was
good
her
at
art
different
jam.
things.
Yeah. Juicy Bit. I didn't think I was going to have a Juicy Bit. I made, and I'm going to include a picture of this little guy because I took a picture of it today with its new edition. With the new edition.
Oh, right.
The feather headdress.
Yes.
Okay. So back when I worked in a corporate job, and I had a lot of free time on my hands because I always got my work done before everyone. This is right about the time social media started, like Facebook started.
Mm-hmm.
I was on. It was the year Pinterest started. So I got invited to Pinterest by a friend, and I had found these adorable little birds, needle felted birds, that were made by this woman. She sold them on Etsy, and they were like $300. And it, in our previous episode, we talked about how much it costs to hand knit a sweater. Like, she's stabbing these little pieces.
It takes hours.
Tens of thousands of times for this tiny little, 2-inch sculpture. And they were adorable birds. And I think she got into Real Simple or one of those big magazines. Maybe it was a bridal magazine. And she made them as like cake toppers, wedding cake toppers. And so they had a little veil, and like they were adorable. I will put the link. I cannot remember her name. I think it was Alana or Alena or something like that. I don't believe she's selling them anymore, but I wanted one so bad, but I could not justify spending $300 on a little felted bird. When she would, you sign up for her email list, and then she would say, okay, launch day is tomorrow. And she would sell out of 20 listings in like 20 minutes. Like, you had to get it then. Otherwise, you'd have to wait 6 months or however long it would take her to do it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to make one. So I had to Google and find the little birds, and find a source image and make my own, because I wanted an owl so bad. And
you did?
I did. I made my little owl that is similar to the ones that she made. And that was in 2020. And then just a couple of weeks ago, there was a little feather remnant from a fan on my desk, and I just popped it on her head. And so now she's a little owl with a little feather headdress. And
it's adorable.
Yeah. So that's my Juicy Bit. I am really.
I was offered money for what I made.
Oh, that's right. Which one was that you made?
The little
Mandalorian.
Yeah, the little baby Yoda looking thing. Yeah, I was offered money, and declined the money, but sent a photograph of my sculpture revealing its secrets.
And it's not kid friendly, so
no,
I mean it should be, because it's anatomy.
Do you want to put a picture of him up too?
We'll put a picture. Okay. I don't know if the girls have theirs still. Their creations. Probably not.
I don't know.
Well, we'll just put ours.
That was a great one. So this is, it's been preached since probably the 40s. How do we spend time with our kids? And this is our family's version of game how night. Do we spend time together?
It's our version of game night.
We still do game night. I was going to bring that up. Yeah. Puzzles or game nights or whatever.
Game night, yeah. We make stuff. And
it's lovely that we all have that in common with each other. Right. As I mentioned, everybody's good at different things, which is fun to explore. And it's fun for you to discover that you're actually skilled at something you'd never even tried before, which is great. So your little owl turned out brilliantly.
I thought I'd make a showgirl one, but maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't look like a showgirl, but she just has a feather headdress on.
We can make more too.
Yeah. There have been times where art jam wasn't fun, though.
There have been times where it was miserable for some.
Well, okay. So it wasn't always that it was the craft or the medium that was chosen. Maybe it was tiredness or grumpiness or just hormones.
Could be timing issues.
Timing, yeah. So my least favorite art jam, which was challenging, was the one where we all completed 4 pieces of artwork where we all chipped in together.
We discovered that does not function.
No, it doesn't. Like, our styles are so different. And I was terrified to take this pretty thing that I had created and pass it to the person next to me.
That's what we did. So all 4 of us, we had 4 canvases, 4 artists, 4 completely different ways of looking at things.
Yeah.
Different values, different level of care. Different.
He's trying to be nice
level
here.
of precision. Different understanding of color theory. So we just wanted to create 4 collaborative works, and none of them were successful.
No, it was my least favorite art jam.
Yeah.
Like,
it was a good learning.
It was good. It was good to see that, like, even though we get along and we love creating, we can't really create together. So creating home decor is probably out of the question.
Probably.
Sadly. Yeah. We tried to bring that back for solstice last year, but
we thought we were going to do it.
Yeah, it never happened. We just couldn't decide on an orientation. But it's okay. We can maybe try this year.
So that brings us to part of the point too, which it comes up in conversation a lot around here, but we constantly try to identify our relationship and the dynamics of this home, and understanding, of course, that the girls live 2 different lives. Their lives at their dad's are completely different.
Yeah.
Mostly due to the fact that there's television and video games.
Yeah, I was just going to say television and video games, whereas here we don't have that. We don't own a TV. We have a projector that we project onto the wall to watch movies.
Yeah, we have movie nights.
But we haven't for...
It's been a while.
At least a year.
It's been a while.
Yeah, or maybe 9 months. But yeah, it's just different. Like, here, it's expected to create no matter what it is. And, they apply that focus to anything. They're writing, cosplay, creating their outfits of the day, expressing themselves on the day-to-day basis. The videos they're creating, one is creating on TikTok, and I think she has like 6 TikTok accounts.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, even if I gave you her name, like her real name, you would never be able to find her because she's masked herself, which is great for her. But the oldest creates videos because she's in IB film in high school and wants to be a film director. So she creates her own like mini documentaries that, I think she has 2 or 3 YouTube channels she's tried just documenting her life. So it's just kind of expected here in this house is to create. Oh, we create through our food. Baking.
We do.
Baking is a huge thing in this house. Desserts. And
we take turns cooking for each other too. And
and
that gets exciting. It's a chore sometimes, but it gets exciting. Sometimes people have wild ideas. Sometimes they decide they're not going to use measuring devices.
That was an art jam.
What's that?
Estimation.
I created that art jam. Yes.
That's right. I forgot about that. I wanted to forget about this art jam because it wasn't creating anything. It was just proving a point.
I think it was. I designed it so people would be aware of their own skills. Not necessarily proving a point, but we were all more precise in estimation than we gave ourselves credit for.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was a good illustration.
okay.
It was kind of an obstacle course of estimating.
Okay, that's the second worst RGM ever, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't
You
think.
know what? Both of those were his ideas.
Oh my goodness.
I just remembered that. Sorry. Juicy Bit.
Are we roasting me again?
No, I'm not trying to, but I just
Yeah.
realized that as I said it.
Juicy Bit? What Juicy Bit?
That's a Juicy Bit.
Oh.
You created the two worst RGMs. It's okay. He has a lot of that fatherly love, and he's trying to teach us and help us grow our confidence. So a lot of his art jams involved that ways that we could take a step back and see ourselves as we really were. And that's what he's done for me in my, in everything I do. He just is reminding me how awesome I am. Same thing. Like that's with art jams. You do this. Like it's just like it's this. Probably it's the noble, the sacred masculine energy, that's doing that. That's guiding these. Whereas, maybe I prefer to just get things done. Like the oldest, she likes to do until it's done. And then when it's done, she chills. She always got her projects done the fastest, which we couldn't wrangle her in to take her time, and she's more about efficiency than quality. So we've learned a lot about each other and just how we create. Felix is always the last to leave our jam. Always.
Oh, I spent 3 days on the felting.
Uh-huh. Yep.
I just kept going.
You just kept going. Take out all that aggression.
So art jam, we brought up that it's like game night, but it really was an effective tool for us to establish that everybody in this home is heard and respected, and we all have similar senses of humor.
I don't know.
It's similar.
That British one, I can't.
There's
can't.
some dry.
There's some dry.
There's
You
some
guys,
dry.
they're just dry on that half of the table. Jeez. But yeah, like I think that I'd like to try to bring our jam back sometime.
I think I too.
Like we said that last night.
I wrote a note about that recently.
A note
To myself.
to yourself, like we're gonna bring our jam back.
Yeah. Some version of it.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe less frequently if that would be easier for
Once a
people.
month.
It seemed like some pressure sometimes because you were expected when it was your turn and you were expected to have an idea.
An idea plus the materials if it was required.
Right.
So examples of ones I brought was, did I do one with feathers once? I brought feathers and rhinestones or sequins or something. And this was getting to the end where everyone was just getting tired of it altogether.
It was hard to come up with new ideas.
Yeah. And so that's where that's when it shifted into like, okay, let's do a project, like a specific project that you have to do instead of, okay, let's all paint. I did one where we were gonna, I think it was watercolor in already silhouette, already drawn lines. And that didn't work out because the printer was broken or something.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not a fully 100% successful endeavor. Sometimes they failed miserably. And then everyone just was like, like we felt like let down because we didn't finish something. Like, I think for me, it's about finishing. Like, it's like a instant gratification type of thing. Like, I knit because it's, it's a meditative. It's the same repeating over and over and over again. I don't tend to choose patterns that are more complicated and I can't memorize. So I pick easy things. This was fairly easy because, that's that kind of project. But for an art jam, it's like we have 3 to 4 hours. I'd like to finish something. I'm not going to spend 3 days needle felting anatomy onto a felted doll.
I've learned patience from watching the knitting. So interestingly, I needed more instant gratification. That's why I always selected acrylics to paint with over oils because they dry faster and you can be done faster.
Yeah.
I always taught myself to paint with large brushes so that I could get coverage in large fields on a bigger canvas and kind of hasten the process of finishing a project. So needle felting was an exercise in patience. And
Oh yeah, that doesn't come together quickly.
but I've learned that by watching a lot of your craft work, and for that matter, sequining, adding sequins. That's a big deal. You know,
Yeah.
that's a commitment.
It is. Yep, it totally is. I did that on the creepy doll #2, right? The purple, the yellow.
Well, even the bow hat.
Oh, that's rhinestones.
Oh, yeah, I'm
You said
sorry.
sequin.
Yes, rhinestoning too.
Rhinestoning.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
it's
meant anyway. Rhinestones. So, how many rhinestones are on that hat?
1444
Right.
ish
Right.
amount. Yeah. The time it takes me to knit, like, yeah, I get impatient, but it's like that momentum of like, I'm going to finish this eventually keeps me going. Like, I don't feel that with an art piece. Like, the youngest is incredible at that. I watch her create sometimes and I'm just like, what is she doing? Because it's so chaotic. She's a very chaotic creative. And I don't like, I have a lot of friends that are chaotic creatives. One who might be a viewer, my friend down in North Carolina. But I've always attracted them to me. That's just what I've done. But I watch and I'm just like, I have to have a plan, and the plan has to be executed
That
like
is
this.
very you. Yes.
That's how I
And
create, and that's why I think knitting is so much for me.
that's very you.
Yeah.
And we're talking about an artist who, let's see, her work creates itself in her hands.
Yeah.
So there's no plan.
There's never a plan.
No.
And there was one piece where it sat there for like 3 days. And she's like, it's not done. It was like, why not? It looks great. And she's like, it's just not done. There's something missing. And then the next day she comes to me. She's like, it's done. And it was just like this splotch of gold paint up in the corner. And I was like, why did that mark it as done? It was just so like, so
I get it. I totally get it.
I know you do. And so that's like a totally different way of creating. And I think that Art Jam has helped each of us understand how we create and how we like to create, and how that there's other ways to create. And so maybe, if you'd like to get your family involved in an art jam, and just the prompt is, okay, today we're using acrylic and paper, and we're going to paint something. Or, okay, let's get all these magazines and some glue and create something, make a collage. So we did that 3 times, I think, with the oldest. That's like her favorite thing to do, is cut trash out and paste it to paper. I still have the last one I did. I still have it. I might burn it, but I don't know. We'll see. The youngest wants to burn all her art when she dies. So we're going to try to talk her out of it.
That's not going to last.
I hope not.
No.
Do we have anything else to add about Art Jam?
No, but we certainly encourage you, if you have any questions about Art Jam, or if you're going to start one, let us know. We hope to have inspired 1 or 2 spin-offs. I mean, and we can certainly tell you about our experience more if you have any specific questions, or if you want some prompts. We're happy to share those too. I think we shared several within the episode here, so try any of those, and we want to see pictures of what you create.
Yeah. Wait, what was your least favorite Art Jam?
I think I was disappointed in the absolute absence of any harmony at all with the collaboration paintings.
You actually thought it was going to be harmonious?
I thought that there would be more respect given to what was on the page before you got it.
Really?
I thought, okay, now we look at this and we're going to create something that goes with that.
Oh yeah, no. Especially when we passed it to the left.
I don't think left or right, it was still going to spiral down the toilet. It was fun. We still had fun.
It was stressful. I was stressed. I didn't want to ruin his art. And the one next to me didn't care.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you have any questions, please.
reach us any old time. hello@onebigcaper.com or right beneath wherever you are seeing this or hearing it.
And please share this so that other families can know the joy of our jam.
That's right.
Yeah. Thanks.
We can't keep doing this without you. Give us just a little bit of your time by subscribing, sharing, rating, or talking about One Big Caper with someone else. We really appreciate your help.
We want to hear your stories. Visit onebigcaper.com to get to know us even more.
All of the audio and visual digital media associated with One Big Caper, in whole or in part, is the property of Gazellus Productions, LLC.